Hello there. What is going on, everyone? Today we are going to be talking about Star Wars Armada and Rapid Reinforcements 3 as a given working title. Basically, the next update from Atomic Mass Games, what many seem to believe will be the final update for Star Wars Armada from Atomic Mass Games. This is, and of course, it's not guaranteed to be the final update. We do have confirmation from AMG that it is coming. This is definitely welcome news for a lot of people that were kind of relying on word of mouth and third-party information. There is actually something concrete from AMG in print that has been shared on social media and on the AMG Discord. So we're going to talk about that, what that means, and what we expect the timeline to be, and also some rumors that have been flying around about this update as well. So fun stuff to talk about in today's video. Although if you've been following the news, you may already be aware. So long story short, AMG has officially said that in response to people asking about the Armada drop, they said, we are still working on the updates and are hoping to have everything ready as soon as possible. And this was also then kind of copy-paste shared by the official AMG moderator team in the Discord. So this is definitely official from Atomic Mass Games, meant to be shared out to everyone. This is good for a number of reasons. For one, this marks the first official acknowledgement that there is indeed an Armada update and that it is coming soon. They wrote soon right there. Of course, there's also a hope in there. So there's hope and soon. So not necessarily the best combination, not like the tried and true peanut butter and jelly that so many of us love. It's more like peanut butter and tuna fish. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so yeah, hope and soon are not always the best, but the good thing is it's better sooner rather than no comment at all. And that's an important thing. I do want to remind you guys also, we are still doing the 12 Days of Life Day this December, so make sure you're subscribed and leave a comment on this or one of my videos to have a chance to enter to win that. Plus, I'd love to have you stick around, click that bell for alerts, like the video, share the video, all that good stuff. It really helps out the channel, and if you're interested in supporting further, check out our Patreon page and other links in the video description. All right, back on to some of the discussion here, because this is the meat and the potatoes of it. I don't want to leave you hanging all the way until the end of the video before I talk about what we actually know. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's talk about where we can go from here. What does this actually mean? And some of the rumors. So there are definitely rumors that there's going to be changes, that this is not a super small change. This is not like 1 or 2 points updates. This is a little bit more beefier of an update. Exactly how beefy, I don't know, but I believe it'll be significant. I think it will be very noticeable in the Armada world. I think, based on some things that I've heard, a lot of lists may need to be changed. And from what I understand, this is a combination of multiple types of things. I believe there's certain whispers, and I won't repeat any official leaks or anything, but I believe there are going to be points updates as well as errata, and possibly even some additional content. So Rapid Reinforcements 3 might not necessarily be the best title for it, but it's kind of a working title, because that's in different chats and conversations that I've been having with people. When we refer to it, it doesn't have a name, because we can't call it the October update anymore, right? We don't know if it's going to be out in November or even December. So Rapid Reinforcements 3 is just what we're calling it. It may actually be called that. It may not. Let's talk about Timetable, because if this soon turns into not quite so soon, there's always the chance that this could come out much closer to Adepticon. If that's the case, it is still everyone's working assumption that whatever the Atomic Mass Games rule set is for Star Wars Armada, that will be the rule set that Worlds is going to be played on. Which means, if this drops and is made official a week before Worlds, then that new rule set is going to be, the rule before Worlds. It kicks into, if it kicks into tournament effect, right before Worlds. If they drop it right before that, there's usually, whenever they drop something, there's always usually like a 2-week buffer, especially if it's in tournament season or something like that. But there have been times where they've dropped something, for other games at least, and it's been live that same day. I don't know if that will be the case here. If it is as substantial as I think it is, then it's going to be probably something that will have this goes into effect on X date to not necessarily interfere and break tournaments that are happening on the same weekend and things like that. So I think that's an interesting thing to think about. We have gone a very long time without any updates for Star Wars Armada. We've had Rapid Reinforcements 1, we've had Rapid Reinforcements 2, and those were a year apart. So we were already kind of in the approximation of getting one update a year. Rapid Reinforcements 2, dropped with a very broken and obscene version of Anakin Skywalker, and about 2 months after that was dropped, there was another patch, or I say content update, and what it did was it changed Anakin Skywalker. It also changed some other cards from Rapid Reinforcements 2. It also had a points update, changed onagers and some things like that. Was seen as a very interesting and meaningful change. It also gave a lot of optimism to the community. It seemed like AMG was listening to feedback, and that was a very cool and groovy thing. But still, it's been over a year. It's been closer to a year and a half, and by the time we get what I'm calling Rapid Reinforcements 3, it may be 2 years. That's entirely possible. So, in between updates, we've gone a long time. We've gone a very long time. And the cool thing is, I think, with a more significant update, we could go a very, very long time with that. I think it's going to take the community a long time to play out some of these changes. If some of them are indeed as significant as rumors are, I think, on one hand, I think a lot of it will be very well received, but I think some other things may have some people scratching their heads a little bit and needing to come up with some new answers for common solutions. So I encourage everybody, when it does drop, let's go through it together. Let's get a lot of games in and let's play the heck out of it and have a lot of fun with it, because we're going to have it for a while. It's going to be a brand new drop. Probably every type of list and probably every faction is going to see something new. So I think there's going to be a lot of new ammunition for list building and for discussions and for YouTube videos, which of course works very well for me, and for podcasters and for bloggers and for Discords and for websites and for custom content and those people who are making custom tokens and cards and this, that, and the other thing and all of this cool stuff that's out there. I think it's going to breathe a ton of life into the community, and that's a really cool thing. That's a very, very cool thing, and I've been waiting so long for an official drop. I'm really eager for the period after the drop. The 6 months to a year that follow an official drop is a very exciting time, because new strategies are emerging, and people toy around with it. Plus, I said we believe this to be the last update from Atomic Mass Games. That doesn't confirm absolutely that it would be the last update from Atomic Mass Games. And what I mean by that is, look at Rapid Reinforcements 2. That dropped, and then they said, oh, you know what? This we need to tweak that a little bit. That was a little OP. That was a little broken. Let's dial it back a little bit. And they listened to community feedback, and we had an update to it 2 months later. Similar thing could happen here. We have no idea. It's entirely possible. The AMG has not stated anywhere that, after Worlds 2025 or after this update, that they're erasing the game and handing it off and won't respond to requests anymore or anything like that. All we really know is that it's the end of development, and then also end of organized play support, because there's no GTs for the 2025-2026 season that feature X-Wing or Armada. But they could still do content drops for these games, because they did just one for X-Wing just like 2 weeks ago. It was a minor thing, a minor correction, but they could also continue to do things like that, minor corrections or additional Rapid Reinforcements types drops or points updates and things like that. All of that type of stuff is certainly possible in the future, although I do think there's still a pretty reasonable chance this could be the last update, or at least the last big update. Now, I'm excited about that. I think if it does drop closer to Worlds, it's going to be an interesting 2025-2026 season, because most likely, if it drops shortly before Worlds, if it gets delayed a couple more months, what the heck am I going to do to talk about between now and then, right? You're probably like, how are you going to fill up the channel? There's plenty more to talk about. We're doing 600-point games now. You know, there's a lot of interesting stuff happening. Maybe even some higher point games than that, because I want to do some more 600-point videos in the near future, because that's an exciting time as well. But the other thing is, if it drops, let's say it drops 2 weeks before Worlds, I don't think that necessarily Worlds will be reflective of the Rapid Reinforcements 3 meta. Not fully, exactly. It'll be probably a better reflection of the knee-jerk reactions to the Rapid Reinforcements 3 meta, and not necessarily the well-thought-out, planned community's emerging meta that comes from it. And I think any kind of content drop like that takes a long time to fully marinate, you know, and I think that's one of the strengths of the community, is that we're going to spend a lot of time with this, and we're going to have 6 months to a year to really absorb it and get the most out of it. And that's a really fun time. It's like, you know, for example, let's just say the Star Destroyer's got another title or something like that. You know, I love titles. Titles is a really fun way to make a ship act differently and behave differently. If something like that were to happen, then, you know, people would be running Star Destroyers in different ways. Maybe you could run a Star Destroyer on the Rebel side, a captured Star Destroyer, or something crazy like that. It would take a long time to really feel the true impact of that. Obviously, there'd be hot takes, and we'd have some of the most obvious takeaways right up front. But for the deeper strategical meta to emerge, it's going to be very interesting, and those probably will still be combinations that haven't even figured out or haven't even mastered, you know, months after this drop. So again, we have a lot of really exciting times ahead of us, and I just want to encourage you all to stay ready. Don't be too impatient. There have been some delays. I've heard rumors of them. They just seem like they're typical run-of-the-mill delays that tend to happen when trying to get any kind of Star Wars product officially released. There's a lot of, you know, basically crossing the T's, dotting the I's, and getting the signatures all in place before it can be approved for, you know, public consumption. And, you know, that's always been the case with these games. I feel like that happens more often than we would like. But so I understand that there's some impatience and frustration. People are absolutely ready. And since we do have Worlds in April, or I'm sorry, late March rather, isn't it? You know, people are like, I would love to get, you know, more than just a month of playtime. Let's try and get 3, 4, or even 5 months, if we can, of playtime in with new content before we have to take it to a world championship. And I definitely understand that as well. Most people don't necessarily play in competitive tournaments every week. You know, you might only have one every couple of months. My dogs are really freaking out about it. I don't know what is going on, but I better wrap this video up. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for today. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and big thanks to my patrons. You guys are out of this world, and I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I just want to say, may the force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. Give your dogs a lot of treats and lots of hugs and lovin's, and always wash your socks.